Welcome back to the Vi Media channel. My name is Eric Brown, president of Vi Media and partner at Mogul Holdings, and we specialize in growing home service companies through digital marketing. Today, I wanted to talk about a few things and highlight on a couple of different topics. The first thing is going to be attribution and the effects that AI are having with actual attribution through paid ads, DM, press, if it's digital TV, whatever the method or the area that you're using in advertising, how well are you actually able to track and measure those results? An ongoing discussion that's really happening in the marketing field right now is the issues of AI and how that is affecting attribution. And really, where we're seeing the largest effects through this is really with paid search. And so, what you need to make sure that you are doing is a few different things depending on if you're a marketing professional or a business owner. So, number one, if you are a business owner, you need to make sure that if you're running paid ads, if it's through social, if it's through Google, if it's through Microsoft, whatever you are running, you need to make sure that you are properly attributing all of those leads and how they are coming in. So, for paid ads, for example, for Google ads, of course, you are able to measure those people if you properly set this up. And if you are a service-based company, and really if you don't sell products, I would say online, right? If you're a B2B, B2C, a majority of the time if you're running paid ads, you're setting up a landing page. So you're able to track that, right? You're able to track from someone searching for whatever you want to run ads for. If you're a plumbing company, it's plumbing company near me, right? Then you have the ad show up. Well, of course you can measure those clicks, right? But that's just step one, is measuring those clicks that are going to that landing page. Now, where people run into issues is they're not tracking that, or they're just sending them to, the homepage of the website, and then they're not tracking that person from there and how, they're interacting on the site. They just know they got that click, right? Well, just measuring the click is only one point of data to look at. If you're not looking at how that person actually came through, how much are we spending on leads? And are these leads actually generating business through these different avenues, right? If you're not measuring that stuff, you're not going to be set up for success. So attribution is a huge issue that companies are having. When I go in and talk with the company, a lot of the time, they don't know how much they're paying per lead through these different avenues. If it's through social media, obviously, media is a little bit more tough to directly attribute. Leads. But again, there are things that you can do there as well to make sure that you are accounting for as many possible leads as possible, how those opportunities are coming into your business, and then, of course, how you're capitalizing, on those opportunities, right? So you have a landing page. Of course, you're able to measure those forms, right, that you're getting. You should be able to directly measure those calls as well. What we do is we use a program called What Converts. And we have a tracking phone number overlaid on top of that number. And then actually what we do, because What Converts was having issues with Charter earlier this year, and some of the numbers were not being tracked because it was just going back to the tracking number, we put another tracking number on. So a backup tracking number. That way we can 100% make sure that no matter what, that call is being properly measured as a Google ad lead. But that's not enough. We want to be able to measure, what campaign and what actual ad type did that come from, right? So just coming from Google ads, okay, that's nice to know, right? Then we're actually able to hopefully, a company should have a CRM set up. They should have, different sources that they're getting leads from. Obviously, Google ads should be one of those, and you can even get more granular if you want, depending on how that data is being sent or if someone's manually inputting that data. Right, you can send it from What Converts, our platform, directly into the CRM. There's different tools that we can use to directly put that information in. But if you want to get more granular, right? Let's say you're a plumbing company and you want to know how well your repair campaign is doing compared to installation, compared to doing, drain cleaning, and you can break out those different services if there's enough search volume, and it makes sense to do. And then you can actually directly measure those different campaigns in your CRM as well. And then not only are you able to see that Google Ads is converting and we're driving business, we're getting, for example, a 10 times or 8 times ROI, whatever it is, on what we're spending on Google. Now we're able to see not only that, but the different campaign types and how those are working as well. And let's say, for example, you have 4 campaigns that, are hitting the metrics that you'd like as far as, let's just say, a cost per lead wise. And then obviously the opportunity cost after that and how much you're closing that business for. But this campaign, even though we see that the cost per click is where we want it at, we see that, we're getting people to the landing page, but let's just say the conversions aren't where we want it to be. And for some reason, we just can't get the conversion to where we need it to be. So then the cost per lead is high, or even if the cost per lead is good, but for some reason the business isn't converting on those leads being generated by that campaign. Well, then we know either something needs to be changed on their business side, or we know that we're just not getting in front of the best audience for what they do, and therefore we should just stop spending money there. And of course, being able to move that budget either to different avenues, different campaigns, or just simply save that money and no longer spend that money. Right? There's no reason for a marketing agency to ever want to just continue to spend more and more money unless there's a specific reason to do so, and you can tangibly prove that through obviously analytics. And we're able to know when you're running Google Ads, impression share and things like that. You're able to measure how often you're coming up in search, how often you're coming up in ads compared to the other competitors also bidding on those exact same search terms that your company's bidding on. So you're able to see all of this data. So it's instrumental that your company has this stuff set up. It has it has all of the attribution set up for measuring the clicks to measuring the leads to not only that, right, to measuring how are those leads turning into opportunities and close business on the CRM side of things. That way your business, your marketing company, your internal marketing, whoever is managing that stuff can get the best data, right? Again, if you're not collecting data, if you're not looking at this stuff, you don't know what's working or not. Obviously you can just go ahead and start running Google Ads and be like, hey, this isn't making an impact on your business. But at the end of the day, a lot of companies don't measure directly where those leads are coming in from. They just know, hey, this had an effect, and that's it. They don't know how much of an effect. They don't know, from where these people are coming. They just know it had an effect. So you want to be able to directly measure all of this data because, of course, at the end of the day, the more data that you have, and not only that, accuracy of that data is as important, right? Just because you have more data, if it's not accurate, it also doesn't matter. So, making sure you have that attribution set up for paid search is super important. Same thing with, meta ads. You can, again, directly measure that stuff. If you're doing, if you're doing clicks, if you're running those people to a landing page, you could do the same thing with Google Ads where you're measuring those form fills, those phone calls, having those tracking numbers set up. Of course, with social, it's a little bit different. You want to make sure you also have Google Analytics set up on your website to look at those referrals, meaning maybe someone sees a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, but what they do is they go to your website, right? You want to be able to track and measure that stuff as well, because usually what you'll see is if you start running ads on Meta, that let's just say a company gets 20 more leads that month, but only 10 are, showing that they came from Facebook. Well, then we can look at Google Analytics and see that they got a ton more referral traffic from Facebook that month than was previous before, right? And maybe you can't 100% allocate those rest of those 10 leads that weren't, shown from going anywhere. But we could say that, hey, okay, we had these people come from Facebook, right, or Instagram, and we know we had more conversions on the website this month, right, as well. So then we can attribute, some of those obviously leads over to that. But you want to make sure that everything is set up properly. That way, really, none of your leads are missing at the end of the month as far as where did this actually come from. Because realistically, what you should be able to do is say you're running ads on Instagram, on Facebook, Google, Microsoft, you're running local service ads, Google guaranteed ads, right? You want to be able to directly measure each of those campaigns differently. Those should be separated, of course, and you should be able to see at the end of every month, here's all of the money that we spent on these different platforms. Literally, here are the direct leads that we got. Here's the opportunity cost, and here's the closed business off of those. And obviously, depending on the type of business it is, sometimes we look at we look at that more of a rolling, let's just say 90 or 120 days. Because of course, just because you get a lead for, and it depends if you're emergency repair versus a larger foundation repair company where, obviously someone comes in and they need you immediately versus, okay, well, this is a larger investment. Maybe we need a plan for this. So the sales cycle may be longer on some of the, obviously, depending on the home service and the type of business, of course, that you are. But let's just say you're doing this for a year, right? Well, at the end of that year, what you should be able to see is, okay, we spent $100,000 this year on all of these different platforms. Here's the closed business that we got from marketing. Specifically, here's the closed business that we got from each of these marketing avenues. And then let's look at the return on investment for each of these vehicles. And if we know that, you know, again, let's just go back to saying there's 5 different things that we're advertising on, 4 working really well, or 3 are working really well. Well, maybe do we want to remove one of those avenues? Do we just want to reduce spend on one of those avenues, save money? Is there ways for us to capitalize in those other areas, maybe and spend more money and capitalize on more of those people? So it's really being able to track, measure, analyze the results, and also have those discussions with yourself, your company, and as a business owner, as a marketing professional, being able to understand all of those numbers as well. And really what I plan on doing, and I know in some of our past episodes, we've talked in depth about, KPIs and tracking and things like that. And what I plan on doing here in the near future is just sharing my screen and us essentially just walking through what we look at for our clients on a monthly basis and what should be set up. If you're running, if you're doing SEO on a monthly basis, what is the most important things to be looking at? And how do you track SEO, right? SEO is a little bit more difficult, but really at the end of the day, it's not that difficult. But I was talking about paid ads and making sure, and even from an SEO standpoint, I was going to talk about SEO, is that you can directly measure through these different analytical tools like we use What Converts again, or Google Analytics, to be able to measure from an SEO standpoint how these people are coming in as well. Because we know that direct search is someone just directly searching your business. Well, let's just say you're running Facebook ads and all of a sudden we see your direct search going up. Of course, we know that your direct search is going up, meaning people directly searching your business name because we're getting in front of people on social media, right? So there's all these different avenues and ways to track and measure results, right? So you want to make sure, number 1, that you're not getting inundated with data. Number 2, that you're looking at the right data. And number 3, that data is accurate. Number 4, that you are improving and constantly making changes to improve your marketing through that data. Because again, if you don't have the data, if you're not tracking it, you don't know how well things are working. You're just throwing money at a problem or trying to throw money at a solution. Maybe in the short term it works, but really, end goal or long term, it's never going to work out. So for that reason, make sure that this stuff is set up on your website, on your paid ad campaigns. And of course, even if you're doing traditional marketing through TV or through radio, right? There's different ways that you could track and measure that stuff, such as using tracking numbers or tracking websites, URLs. Even if it's going to the homepage of your website, you can just set up a different URL that redirects to your website, right? And you'll be able to see the impressions and people that are going to that site, and then of course going to your homepage. So you want to make sure that this stuff is set up. If it's not, you don't know how well things are working, and therefore you can't improve your business. So that's another episode of Marketing Monday. Thank you as always for tuning in. Like I said, please like, review, subscribe, leave a comment if you would like to know something. Like I said, we got some good stuff coming. I think we're going to do some TikTok reviews about some marketing clips. So hopefully we can do some fun stuff here in the coming weeks. Thank you all.